Yo, let's talk about Battlefield 2042's the newest DLC, Season 1, 0 Hour, launched yesterday. And by far, the launch of this newest DLC does not surprise me one single bit. The way that Battlefield 2042 has gone ever since this game launched last year, and the amount of just lackluster stuff, just barely, what is it, 7 months? 6, 7, 8 months since that game launched with zero content attached to it, has been amazing to see of how can EA take a franchise, a $1 billion franchise, a Battlefield, and just sink it to the most lowest point that it possibly can. And now that we're finally getting 0 Hour, the newest season, the first season, it should, you know what, from what I was seeing at least on Twitter, people were calling it zero content, zero server, zero amount of people playing it. I have to say, the memes about this newest DLC that came out yesterday, it doesn't surprise me. I got a pretty good laugh about it. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about how this new season launched, how the first season launched, and how it's going for Battlefield. I want to talk about this skeleton crew, the rumor of a skeleton crew that is remaining on Battlefield to continue its development. And from what I understand is that they are just using the bare bones, the bare minimum amount of people to push out as much content, even if it's crappy content or crap, however it's pushed out there, people in just a really terrible form. They are just trying to get as much as they possibly can out of Battlefield 2042 before they completely abandon the game. So we'll talk about that, and then I want to also talk about this. This is the funny part that I knew was going to happen. So you have this bad product, a Battlefield 2042, and EA is just sitting there going, "My God, how can I make as much money as I possibly can with this crummy product that we're losing players from?" Well, man, it's like how everything else works for EA. Bad product, but man, the microtransactions, the amount of money they put into their market, their currency and everything, it is in this update, and we'll get into that because it is just, what they are actually putting all their effort into, and it's just trying to drain as much money as they can from the player base. So we'll talk about that today. Before we actually get into the main topic, definitely follow me. I'm going to be putting everything in the description below. Follow me on Twitter, Odyssey, as well as Rumble if you guys are wanting alternatives to YouTube. By the way, get them guns, man. This is from the Jocko podcast shirt, man. I love it. It's a really great shirt, really great fit, and it makes my biceps pop a little bit. So just wanted to show you guys that. Anyway, let's get into this. So this launched yesterday on June 9th, which was actually my youngest's birthday, first birthday, man. So she had a great day. I was at work, but she had a great birthday. But man, when it comes to the first season, the first DLC to Battlefield 2042, it didn't go too well. It didn't go too well because it launched and this is literally from yesterday where they're having server issues. This is, look, however way you want to cut it for Battlefield 2042, where they want to say, oh, no, we'll get into the article, but the article EA side is like, no, we do have a significant amount of people, a significant crew working on, developing this game, continuing to make it evolved and stuff like that. And when I see stuff like this, where the first season, you would think that they would want to be, bumping this first season of content up to where we're developing one new map, we're developing one new specialist, we're bringing in 2 guns, we're bringing in 1 vehicle. Yeah, that is not a whole lot of stuff in this. So you can tell, at least from what they're bringing into this game, it's not a whole lot of content, but also from the amount of troubles that this new update, the first season, this is how the DLC is launching for Battlefield 2042. Just the exact same way that 2042 came into existence as a game, the DLC is coming the exact same way. So a lot of people were not even able to actually play the new content. The amount of server issues that were going abroad globally, it's not surprising whatsoever. And honestly, it's just funny to see that nothing has changed since the game has launched up to this newest season, 0 Hour. Nothing's changed. Same old. EA is just trying to drag this dead corpse of the Battlefield franchise across to be like, hey, just buy our product, buy our game, it's okay. Apparently the news is that they are just trying to just drag this thing, just slug it around the corpse of 2042 in order to actually move everybody to develop the next Battlefield game. But I'll say this, man, as somebody that has played Battlefield 2042, is amazingly just disappointed on how this game launched. There is absolutely no way, and I mean, I'm going to quote The Rock, and I mean, there's absolutely no way that I would buy the next Battlefield game. Knowing exactly how this game launched and how it's being treated, you could not convince me one thing that I would want to buy the next Battlefield game. I don't care if it's Vince Zampella, I don't care who's developing it. There's no way in the world you could convince me on how Battlefield 5 got treated. Now how Battlefield 2042 is getting treated. There's no way in the world you can convince me that anybody at EA actually gives a damn about this franchise. But that's just me. Anyway, let's talk about this. This is the next thing. Battlefield 2042 is reportedly abandoning ship as EA switches to focus on the next entry of the series. Now, look, EA is trying to backtrack this thing. Now, this is apparently from somebody that has some inside source into EA and what's kind of going on with DICE. And I'll say this, man, there's absolutely no way that this can't be true. Like, that's just my personal opinion. This I see as about the most truthful statement that you can probably think about when it comes to the way that Battlefield 2042 is getting treated, not only with content, not only the way how it launched, but also too how the DLC launched to where people couldn't even play it, and some people couldn't even get the rewards in the battle pass. But you could get you could buy a battle pass. You could buy currency in the game to buy some cosmetic items. EA has to fix, EA has to get every nickel and dime out of you. But yeah, it's just kind of funny to see exactly where this game, like where the Battlefield franchise, it was all the way up here. It was this great franchise. People loved it. Bad Company, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. Battlefield 5, it launched in a really crappy, state. But man, over the time, Battlefield 5 actually became a really good Battlefield game in the franchise. And then Battlefield 2042, man, I don't know who in the world at EA just does not give a damn about this thing. But again, that kind of goes with all other games nowadays. And when it comes to either EA or Activision, it's not so much about the gameplay. It's how much they can drain money from their player base and until they stop playing the game. And honestly, that is the biggest thing that players can do right now. Don't play the game. Don't buy the products. Don't invest into these companies that are treating players like garbage, that are trying to nickel and dime players. So we'll get a little bit into this article, but anyway, Battlefield 2042 DLC is worked on by a skeleton crew as the majority of the Battlefield team moves to the next game in the series, as it's claimed. So this claim is by Jeff Grube. He says that EA is attempting to fulfill the game's promised DLC using a few resources as possible so that it can focus on the next Battlefield. And honestly, reading that, the story, one, does not surprise me, but two, I believe it. Like there's no way in the world. There's no way in the world you can convince me that it's the other case around. Now, EA, however, has committed to releasing 4 seasons of content. I have no idea how it's going to get past even 2, but it's just, I know it's like an obligation for the game. There's no way. There's absolutely no way with this. But an update to this is that EA has denied the claim, saying that in the statement, this is untrue. There is a significant team across studios focused on evolving and improving Battlefield 2042's experience for our players. At the heart, that is our team at DICE. Look, I don't need to get into this whole article. If you want to read it, I'll go and post it in the description below. But you can go off the history of what Battlefield 2042 has gone through so far. Just for the few months that this game has come out, the most crappy, just absolute, just disastrous launch of a game. The beta was awful. We were getting lied to about how old the system was. The specialist system is just absolute trash. The maps are trash. They're having to rework the maps. The hazard zone. They're forgoing Hazard Zone. They have gotten rid of Hazard Zone. There's no new content coming to Hazard Zone. So for how much they wanted to be competitive to Warzone, that's just not happening. Portal, they're adding a few things to Portal, but do you remember, for people that have watched my videos, watched how Battlefield 2042 has gone throughout the past, do you know exactly how they've treated Portal? You can't even play that thing and actually earn, decent XP, but also, too, when it comes to the bots, we know why EA added bots in the game because, well, the game's kind of trash. So there's multitudes of things. And also too, the last thing I didn't even mention is that the 128 players, like that was a big seller. The 128 players in the game that they were like, hey, you know what? We got more players, more things to do. Yeah, we got bots in there, but we got 128 players. Well, no more 128 players maps. It's all going towards 64 player maps. No more 128 players. You can kind of see how this game is just literally just sinking in the hole, sinking in the grave that it's created. So last thing we'll talk about. So this is from Battlefield Bulletin. The funny thing is I enjoy kind of seeing what this Twitter account posts out there, you know, especially before this game launched. It got me really hyped. I'm really disappointed that it got me hyped because it made me buy the game. But I mean, you can see here the amount of different cosmetics that EA is trying to push people to consume and buy. It's pretty ridiculous, and we haven't even gotten to the currency. We haven't even gotten into the season pass. You have not really seen a big change, a big uptick in player base. Yeah, it did go up a little bit in players over 24 hours, but again, it's really not that great of an increase in the amount of players that have played it. So this has just been a huge issue. Even Battlefield Bulletin covers over the different issues that this update has had since launch. And it's just ridiculous, man. It truly is. For $1 billion company of EA and DICE underneath them, there's just no way in the world you should be releasing a product like this. But, dude, it's all about the money, man. How much can they bring in and milk from the player base? Let's talk about this. Battle Pass, baby. Battle Pass. Oh, yeah, man. We got to milk. We got to nickel and dime the players, man. We got to get as much money as this garbage trash can on fire as we possibly can. And sure enough, people are going to be buying this stuff. Sure enough, people are going to be shelling out money for the Battle Pass. Sure enough, people are going to be buying the cosmetic items in this thing. And it just, honestly, that disappoints me the most. Here you got the currency. Here you got all the currencies you can buy in Battlefield 2042. And again, like I'm saying, man, why in the world are you going to be wasting money on this game when you damn well know that EA is going to drop this game the soonest they possibly can? It just makes me disappointed. It truly makes me disappointed on how this game was going, because the Battlefield franchise, it's been a great franchise. I think a lot of people were looking forward to 2042 because of how the Call of Duty franchise has been going the past few years. It's so funny to know, to even think that Modern Warfare 2019 was trying to get onto Battlefield's heels on big scale battles. And it seems like in Modern Warfare 2, Ground War, the 64 player Ground War, is making a return. So what are people going to be playing? Are they going to be playing the really crappy experience of Battlefield 2042 and just the disaster that that game has with its big team battles? Or when Modern Warfare 2 launches, hopefully it doesn't launch the way that 2042 did, but when it comes to Ground War, do you think players are going to be going towards that if they want big team battle? Which do you think is going to be happening? So at least when it comes to, you know, which competitive game, Call of Duty and Battlefield, man, Call of Duty is winning it out of this when it comes to big team battle stuff. And we'll see how Modern Warfare 2 launches, but 2042, what are you doing? EA, DICE, what are you guys doing, man? Actually give a damn about your products and not just trying to nickel and dime the players. Anyway, that's all I got. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about this entire launch of 0 hours, 0 content, 0 servers? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please have a great rest of the day. Look forward to talking to you guys all next time.